Is it possible in a white-hot seller's market to still not command top dollar for your house? Well, yes, it is. And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you unless you want it to happen. If you want to offload quickly to a cash buyer, then that's your prerogative. But if you want top dollar for your property, it doesn't matter how hot the market is. If you can spend a nickel to get $1 in return, then you want to do that. And that's what this video is about. 5 surprising things that can make it difficult to sell your property for top dollar even in a white-hot market. The first thing is odors. So if you don't want the only person who's interested in buying your house to be cash buyers, then you want to eliminate all funky odors. If you've got pets in the house, then you know that there's could be a challenge. So get rid of food bowls, make it look like you don't have any pets. Tear out carpets, especially if you have unruly cats. Tear that out. One trick to deal with that would be to use Clorox and spray everything down with Clorox after you've torn out the carpets. Put fresh carpets on and neutralize any smells. And you want fresh smells. A big one is functional obsolescence. So if you have a funky pattern in your house, if it's a 1970s house, 1950s house, you have small, narrow hallways, you have small rooms that are enclosed, you don't have much windows or light, or you have good views but you're not capitalized on them. Buyers today have completely different needs, and you'll find out what they are by visiting these show homes, the big builders. People today want wide open, expansive homes. They don't want narrow, darkened rooms and homes. So if you've got a house with funky layout, that will definitely negatively impact your selling price. Make no doubt about it, even in a hot market. You'll sell it, but you're not going to sell it for what you think that you have if your neighbor has got big expansive rooms and the open concept with the kitchen moving into the family room, moving into the dining room that opens up into the backyard. Don't expect that you're going to get the same price even if you have the same square footage in the same neighborhood. Now, what to do with that? That's an entirely different conversation. And real briefly, there are options. You can get a contractor to do the work. We have a concierge program with our company where we will go and do the work with you and for you, and we will help you on the other end, depending on the situation, to get top dollar later. Another issue that may prevent you from getting top dollar, a person had these loud barking dogs and a hoarder next door, and both awful things to have to deal with in your neighborhood. So you're selling your house and you've got a hoarder next door. That will prevent you from selling for top dollar. You could put up a big fence. That's a possibility. Another option is to sell it for whatever you can get. Do the best that you can, but that's a very unfortunate situation. You can contact the city. My experience is the city is very slow in responding to those things. They start giving citations, but then if you're dealing with somebody who's not well next door, they don't even respond to the citations. They end up just putting liens on the houses, and they end up collecting there for many years. Very unfortunate for the neighbors. Hopefully you don't have that extreme example of a bad neighbor. Another way that you will have a challenge in selling for top dollar is if in the inspection you find mold. And mold is a very serious health issue, and it does have to be remediated unless you again sell to a cash buyer who's professional. So my recommendation is for you to get an inspection up front so you know what you're dealing with, and if at all possible, fix it first. You still have to disclose, but selling to an end buyer after the problem has passed and you have a certificate of clean bill of health and occupancy is much easier than trying to deal with that during escrow, if the buyer finds out of the mold during their inspection. So because we're in such a very strong seller's market, many sellers are deluded into thinking that they can get top dollar like their neighbor without actually planning intelligently the sale of their home. And they actually do need to plan intelligently if you want to get that top dollar. I have seen clients not deal with the functional obsolescence and start repainting the inside of their house. They did not get what they wanted for the property because they refused to deal with the functional obsolescence, for example. Now, every situation is different, but in looking squarely at what you're dealing with, and of course, as sellers, we always think that our house is worth the most money in the whole neighborhood. But looking realistically at what you're dealing with will help you to make the best decisions going forward so you actually can make the most money when you're selling your house. So I hope you found these tips valuable. And if you have any comments or a very specific situation, feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think. And of course, text or reach out to me if you have any particular issues that you need to address. Happy to help. Ginger Faith Realty here in the beautiful Tri-Valley, California.